o'clock on Friday, not the best time to record a YouTube video and upload it, but hey, we got some baseball news. We're going to talk about it. I was waiting all day for the Robinson Cano, Edwin Diaz trade to be finalized for the Mets, but that's still not there, so don't worry, we will talk about it once it gets finalized, you know, if it ever does. This is the Mets we're talking about. But we got some other trades that went down in baseball, specifically talking about the Gomes being traded to the Washington Nationals trade, as you can tell from the title, but there's a lot to cover, and we're going to cover pretty much everything. Now, before we do get going into all the analysis and all the trade rumors and everything that's going on in baseball right now, because it's been a crazy 24 hours in Major League Baseball, make sure to leave a like on this video if you do enjoy and you want to see more. The support on the channel has been incredible lately. I mean, we got, what, like 70,000 views on predicting where every free agent's gonna go, so unbelievable. In case you didn't see that card in the top right hand corner, get in that comment section down below. Let me know what you think about all these trades, all these rumors. I'd love to have a conversation with you. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Link in the description to both of those socials. Follow me on there. I'm talking baseball constantly. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're covering all baseball all off season long, so if you like that stuff, hit the sub button, join the club. So let's get talking about the title of the video, the Gomes trade to the Washington Nationals. Now, for those of you who do not know, Gomes, catcher, Cleveland Indians, has been traded to the Washington Nationals in exchange for 3 players. The Cleveland Indians are getting Jeffrey Rodriguez, a right-handed pitcher. They're also getting Daniel Johnson, the number 7 prospect in the Washington Nationals organization. He's an outfielder, and they will also be receiving a player to be named later. Initial reaction is, woo! Thank you. And you might be saying, why are you happy about the Nationals getting Gomes? Well, it's because I didn't want the Mets to get him. I understand he had a great year last year. He's not the worst catcher in the league. He would still be an improvement for the Mets at the catching position, but I didn't want him. I did not want him. I want 2 guys. There's 2 guys available right now that I want. It's either Wilson Ramos or Yasmani Grandal. I don't want Gomes, so I'm glad he's not on the team. For the Nationals, he looks like he's going to be a platoon now with Kurt Suzuki behind the dish, who they signed, I believe, about a week and a half ago. So they'll be splitting time behind the dish for the Washington Nationals. Both of them, again, not particularly elite catchers, but in platoon situations, they're going to be just fine. Catchers last year for the Nationals, not too great. The Nationals used about 3 different catchers last year, appearing in 50 to 70 games each. They got Matt Wieters, Spencer Kieboom, which I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, and they've also got Pedro Severino. None of them hit well. Pedro Severino started off the season a little bit hot, but whew, did he fall off. A 168 average, 250 on base, 247 slugging. Yeah, that's not good. And Matt Wieters wasn't much better. 8 homers, 30 RBIs, 238 batting average, 330 on base. He had a 374 slugging. Just the catcher position was definitely a weak spot for the Nationals last year. They were not good behind the dish. Adding a guy like Gomes off of probably his 2nd best season as a catcher. Back in 2014, he hit 21 homers, 74 RBIs, 278 for the Indians. That was probably his best offensive season as a catcher in the major leagues thus far. But last year, not too bad. Improved on his 2017 season. 16 homers, 48 RBIs, 266 average, 313 on base, 449 slugging, 762 OPS. To give him an OPS plus of 103, so that's above average. So he wasn't bad last year, to say the least. Now, in previous years, he has not been good behind the dish. OPS plus wise, 83 in 2017, 34 in 2016, 2015 he had a 74. So Gomes, you see why I'm a little bit hesitant as to why I wouldn't want him as the Mets, but for the Nationals in a platoon situation, for a guy who has some difficulty staying healthy, this is probably one of the better case scenarios for him and for the Nationals. Gomes has a little bit of pop, 16 homers, was towards the top of the league for catchers last year. He's pretty solid defensively, nothing crazy. He's no Yadier Molina, he's no Salvador Perez, but he's solid behind the dish. You combine him with Kurt Suzuki, who the last couple years has been a 270 and above hitter for the Atlanta Braves. 2017 he hit 19 homers, last year he hit 12. I mean, that's not a bad platoon right there between those 2 guys splitting time. Definitely helps the Nationals out in a position that was extremely weak for them last year. For the Indians, I'm not really sure what I think about this trade. They've been rumored to be trading him for quite some time now because the Indians they don't really need him at this point. They got Daniel Johnson, who's the number 7 prospect in the Washington Nationals organization. His numbers, he's an interesting player. He projects more as a 4th outfielder. You get him in center field in an everyday lineup, he's not going to be a star player, that's for sure. Like, he doesn't really have that all-star type potential. They said he has some good raw power, but he has a hard time squaring up the ball, which, as you know, if you can't square up the ball, you're going to have a very hard time hitting. The dude's an exceptional fielder, though. He's got great speed. He's got a very solid arm, so that's why he projects more as a center fielder. With that speed, he can cut down a lot of balls in the outfield in those gaps, but again, he's not really your fix there in Cleveland. He's not like, oh yes, we got Daniel Johnson, now we don't need to go sign outfield free agents. Cleveland still has a lot of work to do on that outfield. They're also getting Jeffrey Rodriguez, the pitcher who has a bit of a live arm, was up for the Nationals in about 14 games last year, all over the place. ERA was 5.71. He's only 24 years old, so maybe he wasn't necessarily ready because that Nationals team did have some injury issues that forced him to come up a little bit earlier, probably. And then, of course, the player to be named later, which it could be anybody. We don't know who that is. That's why it's called a player to be named later. Overall, for the Nationals, probably a good trade. You didn't give up anything, and you're improving at the catcher position, so that's always nice. For the Indians, I mean, you got some players for Yan Gomes. I don't necessarily know what kind of impact they're going to have on the team in the near future, but I don't know. Indians, it is what it is. Not crazy. You're not, you're not popping bottles on this. You're just like, all right, we got rid of Yan Gomes, moving on. There was also another trade that happened in Major League Baseball today. Alex Colome being traded from the Seattle Mariners, who appear to be tearing it down, as we know, with the impending Robinson Cano Edwin Diaz trade. But Alex Colome is going from the Mariners to the Chicago White Sox in exchange for Omar Narvaez. I don't know. I'm not good with that name. For the White Sox, they're getting some bullpen help, which we know they need. Their bullpen was, their bullpen's not anything you want to talk highly about. It's not a very good bullpen. So they're getting some bullpen help. It seems like the White Sox are starting to be in that rebuilding phase where they are trying to start to win some games. They've been rumored to be going after Bryce Harper, which I can't see that happening. Same thing with Manny Machado. They just non-tendered Matt Davidson, so they're probably going to be looking for a third baseman as well. Maybe my Mike Moustakas prediction comes through. They also non-tendered Avisail Garcia, so I don't think they want to be as bad as they have been the past couple seasons. I don't think the White Sox are going to be making any run at the playoffs this current season, but you never know. They are making some improvements. They're trying to get better. You got to respect that if you're a White Sox fan, although that stadium has to be the worst stadium in baseball. I went there twice last year. Terrible. Get a new stadium. Do something. I don't know. It's bad. There's also been rumors that Jean Segura is going to be traded to the Philadelphia Phillies. Again, part of that Seattle Mariners tearing down the entire team, rebuilding, starting from scratch. They can get some good prospects from the Phillies who are loaded. I think it's a good move for both teams. Again, Mariners not trying to be competitive this year. They want to rebuild, so getting rid of Jean Segura is a no-brainer. And then for the Phillies, you can improve either at shortstop, second base, third base, wherever you choose to play Jean Segura. He is a good player, hits for good average, plays solid defense, so that's a nice improvement for them if that trade does go through. But again, we'll wait to see what actually happens. There's also been rumors about the Greinke Goldschmidt trades going around. We've got JT Realmuto trade rumors. There's about the Cubs maybe trading Wellington Castillo for him, which I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like that. I don't know how I feel. I would need to do a little more research, but first reaction I go is, I don't really know if that's the right move. And then you've also got the Yankees talking about maybe trading Gary Sanchez for JT Realmuto, which honestly, if you're a Yankee fan, I think that's a great move for you. Getting JT Realmuto behind the dish is an automatic upgrade. Yes, he doesn't have the power numbers as Gary Sanchez, but the dude can still have some pop, hits for good average, good catcher behind the dish, has a decent arm. It's actually pretty comparable to Gary Sanchez, as I know that might blow some people away, but when you go to StatCast, JT Realmuto actually threw the ball harder last year than Gary Sanchez. Not to mention his pop time's quicker, so you're getting a much better catcher behind the dish. And in that Yankees lineup where it pretty much seems like everybody hits home runs, JT Realmuto will be a nice change of pace where he doesn't need to hit a home run to drive in runs. He can hit a single, he can hit a double. Because honestly, I think that Gary Sanchez we saw last year, he's not a 180 hitter, but I don't think he's a 280 hitter like he was a couple seasons ago either. Other news, the Mets non-tendered Wilmer Flores, so, as a Met fan, Wilmer, I'm sorry you gotta go, but at the end of the day, he really didn't offer much to this team and the way that they're trying to move in the future, so I understand the move. It hurts me because Wilmer, he cried for us. We'll never forget that, and he was one of the most clutch players in Mets history, and he's only, 27, 28, so I love Wilmer Flores. Unfortunate to see him go, but it just seemed like it was his time. The Reds non-tendered Billy Hamilton, which was huge because obviously we know the hype that was surrounding him when he was coming up, but man, he has been disappointing to say the least. Jonathan Scope was non-tendered. He is now a free agent. David Stearns, the GM of the Brewers, came out and said that it was a bad trade. It was a big mistake. He was not happy with the production, and he's going to own it, and that's why Jonathan Scope's not coming back to the Brewers, which surprised me, but didn't, because second base is so deep this year in free agency that they could go out and get someone that's just as good, if not better. But also, Jonathan Scope is a very good player, in my opinion. Had the Mets not been in these rumors for Cano and Diaz, and had they not had Jeff McNeil, I would have loved to have Jonathan Scope at second base because I think he's good, but he's going to be a free agent now. Should be interesting to see where he goes. You got the Indians talking about possibly trading Trevor Bauer, Corey Kluber to the Dodgers. Interesting stuff. Some other names that got non-tendered that are noteworthy. We got Shelby Miller, Yangervis Solarte, Brad Boxberger, Robbie Grossman, Mike Fiers, just to name a few. And then the final little piece of information I'll give you in this video is about Craig Kimbrel. Some news on him. He's supposedly wanting a 6-year deal. A 6-year deal as a closer at age, 30, 31? yeah, I can honestly tell you that the Red Sox will not be re-signing him. They're definitely not interested in signing a closer to a 6-year deal. That is just asinine in my opinion. I can't believe he's asking for 6 years. I mean, good for him. Go get your money. You're a beast closer, one of the best to ever pitch. But 6 years is a lot to ask of a closer, and I don't know what team's going to give that to him. Otherwise, that's going to be it for this video. Just kind of wrapping up everything that's gone on during this week. I know I haven't been posting a lot, but December 1st starts tomorrow. And as you guys know, the YouTube ad revenue goes up. So we're going to be uploading videos all throughout December. So if there's something you want to see me talk about in a video, get in the comment section below. Let me know. I'm going to be recording some videos tonight so I can get ahead when I have school and finals the next couple weeks, so I don't miss out on any uploads for you guys. Hoping that we hear about this Edwin Diaz and Robinson Cano trade so I can talk about it with you guys on the channel tomorrow, but we're still waiting to hear about that. And that's going to be it for this video. Remember to leave a like on it if you do enjoy it. Comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 32K. Hit that sub button. And yeah, YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my every predicting free agents video. You can click it. I do a lot of work in that one, so go check it out. And yeah, that's going to be it for this. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.